Hello people of the internet. Well, you know how much I like my glitter gel pens, and I want to find out if Jelly Roll are still the best. In 1982, Sakura patented the gel pen in Japan, and in 1988 they launched the Jelly Roll pen. So 36 years later, I want to find out, are they still the best? So come with me on this journey of gel pen discovery. So let's have a little bit of history. Sakura is a heritage brand. They've basically been around since 1921, starting life actually as a crayon manufacturer in Osaka, Japan. Sakura's first innovation was a highly pigmented oil-based pastel called the Craypar. The name describes what the product is. It's basically a mix of crayon and pastel, and the product was originally designed for children as a mess-free alternative to powdered pastels that was available at that time. So how did they get into pens? As time moved on, and in 1964, the first water-based ink rollerball was developed by another Japanese company called O2. Now, before you come at me and tell me that Bic invented the ballpoint, they did. The Bic ballpoint was invented in France in 1950, but that used an oil-based ink. The ink in these new rollerballs consisted of dyes dissolved in water, and this less viscous ink flows more freely than oil-based ballpoint ink, allowing more flexibility with the ball of the pen. At this time, Sakura began to focus on developing specialised ink technologies, which is what led them to their next invention, a range of permanent markers featuring something called Pigma ink. Now, permanent markers weren't new. In the 1960s, the Sanford Ink Company in America had launched the first permanent markers called the Sharpie, which was sold as being able to write virtually on any surface. However, Sharpies and every other permanent marker in the coming years used dye-based ink. However, Pigma, which was launched in 1982, was pigment-based. Sakura was interested in exploring this new type of rollerball technology, but they wanted to do something different. So instead, they looked at the invention of the Pigma ink as a springboard. Knowing that the new rollerball technology existed, what could they do that was different? The answer was gel ink. Although pen companies had been trying to formulate gel ink for a while, no one had quite got there yet. So in the early 1980s, Sakura started the research and development specifically focused on solving the "why won't my pen write" issues commonly encountered when people were using both oil and water-based ink in rollerballs and ballpoint pens. By 1982, Sakura's R&D team had successfully made usable gel ink, and by 1984 designed a pen that could handle it. It was introduced in Japan as the Ballsign pen. Similar to their Craypar name, Ballsign combined ballpoint with sign pen, which is a Japanese term for a felt tip pen. By 1986, Sakura in Japan had established a North American affiliate and discussed bringing the Ballsign to the US. However, instead of simply marketing it as another variety of rollerball, marketing research encouraged them to introduce it as an entirely new kind of pen, which meant a new name. And so in 1989, the first Jelly Roll pens arrived, in black, red and blue. It was nearly a decade later that the Jelly Rolls really changed the market. In 1997, they hit upon something major, an opaque, reflective ink that became known as the Jelly Roll Metallic. Unlike regular Jelly Rolls, the metallic version could write on both black and white paper. It's worth noting here that in 1996, Pentel introduced the Milky Pen. So the Jelly Roll Metallic and the Pentel Milky Pen both took off around the same time and had similar properties with regard to working on dark paper. After the success of the metallic line, Sakura continued to create new varieties of Jelly Roll, including the Jelly Roll Lightning, now called Silver Shadow, the Jelly Roll Stardust, Moonlight, Glaze and Souffle. Now we've heard the history of the Jelly Roll and how Sakura were the forerunner for the gel ink and the glitter ink. So let me tell you my first exposure to the Jelly Rolls. I was into scrapbooking in 1990s and early 2000s, and these came on the market in the UK about that time. And I remember there was like a big buzz in the scrapbooking world, because they're kind of like, they were light fast, they were archival, they were glittery, they were fantastic for journaling on your pages and added that little bit of zhuzh. Everyone liked a bit of zhuzh. And so everyone was like really keen to buy them. It was really hard to get hold of in the UK back then. This is way before the days of Amazon and all the Chinese manufacturers selling directly on Amazon. Then Amazon, if it existed back then, and I can't remember if it did, was a bookseller, and that was it. So I used to actually sell jelly rolls in my scrapbooking shop, and I used to have to import them in from Japan, and that was before there was a UK distributor, and it was easier for me to get them from Japan than it was for me to get them from the American distributor. So I used to sell them in my shop. These in here are, well, I had a full set. Because I had a shop and I was selling them, I had the full set. I had all the metallics, all the souffle, all the glaze, all the stardust, the entire range. And they were so expensive back then, or, you know, sought after. I had them in one of them, you know, them pencil cases, the Global Arts kind of velvet inside, really fancy ones. I had them all in one of those. And they were sort of like, my precious. I didn't really use them that much. I mean, the thought of colouring an entire page or a lump of anything with one of the precious jelly roll was unheard of. And then when I stopped scrapbooking, they just got filed away until I started looking into adult colouring again, because I'd been into adult colouring once before, and that was, I never touched gel pens at that time. I never even knew it was a thing. But when the pandemic started and we was all locked up at home, I'd started looking at adult colouring at that time. And I remember, you know, when we got the notification that the stores were going to close, they were going to shut, it was our last day of freedom, and me and my husband jumped in the car, we drove to the coast near us, we had the day on the coast, we had a meal in a restaurant, and it was funny because all the restaurants were closing, and we went into a, oh, what was the name of that shop, what was it, one of them pubs, not Werther's, you know, one of the pubs. I'll put it on I'll put it on the screen. They do the food and everything, and they were selling all pints for 99p because they had to try and get everyone to drink up all the beer that was going to go off while they were closed, because no one knew when the shops was opening again. And on the way home, I said to my husband, can we stop at Hobbycraft? Because I had seen this set of pens in Hobbycraft and they were £5, and I was like, I'm going to get them and I'm going to try them. You know, I had not tried any gel pens since these back in early 2000s. And so I was really excited, and we stopped, I think it was something like 10 to 8, because we'd made the most of our last day of freedom. It was 10 to 8, Hobbycraft were just closing. I ran in there, I picked up this set of pens, I went over to the counter, I paid for them, and I walked out, and my husband looked at me and I held them up over my head like I've bought this. This will last me through the pandemic. Oh, the naivety I had back then. Anyway, so I brought them home. These are them, actually. These are some of them. And I later found out that these are a very, very generic pen. You know, that's why they've got no branding on them. You can buy these from Hobbycraft as Hobbycraft pens. And various other companies as well, which we'll come to. And I remember getting home and trying these, and I've got a swatch sheet so we can start the compare. Sakura at the top. We'll come back to them. I've got a yellow. I want to get a yellow. I keep all my oddities in here, just in this tub. I want to get a yellow, an orange, a red, a green. I would like a blue, really. Oh, yeah, blue. There, they can be the 5 colours that we try. Okay. So when I got home with them, I tried these. I didn't know what I thought they was going to be. In reality, they felt like the ones that we used to get from WH Smith's when I was a child. I mean, they're not bad, but you can hear the scratchy noise. I'm actually doing this on watercolour paper. And that's to give the pens the best chance, because gel pens work best on paper with a little bit of tooth. This is slick paper, because when it's really slick, the ball can slip. So yeah, when I came home, I was like, let's see this one. A little bit of a skip start there, quite skippy in the middle, not exactly free flowing. And I remember as I was playing with them, I was like, oh, these are not as good as I thought. The other thing as well is in the 50 pack, there was, I think it was 12 of these. There was 12 pastel ones, 12 metallic ones, 12 neon ones or whatever it is. And I was like, oh, I was quite disappointed because I wanted all glitter. And I couldn't imagine doing any kind of colouring with these at all. See this green, look. That's pretty much how these generic ones go. And then we've got the blue. Yep. And I remember this is what they were like out of the box. And I was like, damn. So at that time, what I then did is I ordered a set online, and I'll put the picture of the pack of them here. And they were by a company called Gurkkst, and they were $7.99, 48. Again, it was 12 metallic, 12 glitter, 12 whatever. And these are them. And then when these turned up, I had no high hopes because I'd already bought these Hobbycraft ones, been disappointed, and chucked them in the back of the cupboard. So these Gurkkst ones turned up. And these were a little bit better. Oh, that's a really bright orange. And I was actually really surprised. I thought, oh, I wasn't expecting these to be good. I was expecting these to be as rubbishy as the Hobbycraft ones. And I was thinking, maybe what it is Hobbycraft are selling the old ones like you used to get years ago in WH Smith's. And there are nice branded ones out there, made in China, made in Japan, that actually work, as well as Stardust ones, Sakura ones. And to be honest, look, these, I haven't got these out probably for 2 years, and they are just working straight off the bat. Beautifully. So you can see, and I was really impressed with those. So impressed with those. I got this little book out, which is a colouring book that I've had for years, right? And I swatched them. Now there's loads of pens on it now because I've swatched them all, but I did them in their own little section. It's this section here. And that was the neons, that was the metallic, that was the pastels, and then over here in this little corner is the oh no, over in this little corner I think is the metallics that you got with it. And I loved it, and that was it. Then I was hooked, and I was thinking, okay, there must be more out there on the market. And I saw the Castle Art ones. Castle Art looked like this. My husband bought me these for Christmas. I was really, really excited. And when they turned up, I didn't realise it was 28 glitter, 14 neon, 6 swirl, pastel, neon, classic, metallic. Disappointed, only 28 glitter. And then the thing that really bugged me was when I got them out, I realised they were the same generic pen, same body, same ends, same everything as the Hobbycraft ones that I'd bought for £5 for 50. I also back then at that time bought the Arteza ones, and the Arteza ones were the same. Same, I mean, at least these are branded on the lid, and the Arteza ones were as well. But they're the same pens, so I was really disappointed. I was really disappointed with these Castle Art ones. I wanted a bigger set of just glitter ones. I wanted ones that was as good as these, or really as good as these, but I wanted all glitter. And that's when I came across the Colour Technik ones. Now this is my backup set. I have my others in a pen case. This is my working set. They're all in a pen case. They're all swatched out. Now these, there was 80 of them. And I was really hopeful. And when I started using them, that's a light one, so it doesn't really. Let's get a darker one, dark yellow. The thing is about the Colour Technik ones, there's so many different colours. The light ones because you can do shading with them. This one's nearly all gone actually, but you can see these were nice. These had a big ball. Yeah, these were good. I remember when these turned up, I was really excited. That's the other good thing, is I have refills for these. I mean, not only did these work really nice with a really nice thick ball. Let's do the blue. And let's grab a green. It's a really nice minty green, that one. This is the thing, there's so many shades. So to me, at the time, I hadn't rebought my Stardust at this point. So to me, at the time, these 80 glitter with refill pens were the best. They were the best. They compared to the Gurkkst, they really worked really well, and they were better than the Hobbycraft generic ones, which, you know, it all felt like that these had the same size, kind of bigger ball. I'll leave that one out. I was then so into my gel pens that I was forever looking for, you know, the next good one. And these popped up, Chromatek. They looked very similar. They also came with refills. They came in 3 sets at the time. No, they came in 2 sets, a 50 and a 30. And I bought the 30 set just to try them, and they were so good, I then went and bought the 80 set. Straight out the unused box. Yes, look at those Chromateks go. Let's grab an orange, any orange. Again, these come with refills as well. This one needed a little bit of warm up, but then bear in mind these have been in my drawer for unused for like 2 years. They're in my archive, my gel pen archive. Oh, so nice. I think I'm doing quite well to get the matching colours, considering I've got a set of 50 and a set of 80 to choose from. A bit lighter. That could be one of the neon ones actually. Yeah, it is. The neons I find are a little bit harder. I think because they've got something in them that makes them neon, it makes them just a little bit less viscous. Okay, so when I got the Chromatek, I found that they were just as good as the Colour Technik, but there was one difference, and we have to zoom out for this. So this is a Chromatek. Just about see it on there. So this is a Chromatek. That's what it looks like. It's got a squishy bit there, and this is the Colour Technik. So body wise, they're identical, apart from Colour Technik have got the printing on there, and Chromatek have the printing on there. So it looks like ends are the same. It looks like the bodies are made in exactly the same factory, but this is where things get different. This is the Colour Technik. This is the Chromatek. Chromatek, Colour Technik. Look at the size of the holes. So this is the Chromatek, this is the Colour Technik. The Colour Technik has a bigger hole. Now it was advertised all the time as 40% more ink, and it's a bigger refill. It's a fatter refill. That bigger hole, that hole that's bigger there, means that there's more room for more ink. So the colour Technik hold more ink. So that was when I knew that even though both pens acted the same way, for me, the colour Technik were the better ones because they held more ink. Like I say, they're just as good as in use, but they run out quicker. So that they then became my pen of choice. At this point, I still hadn't rebought the Stardust. It was funny actually. One day I was on Amazon and these were showing there's only 2 sets left in stock. So I thought, oh, I might get another set before they go out of stock. The next day they had 1 set left in stock. So I quick jumped on it and bought them, and that's what this set is. It's a backup set, obviously. Got to have a backup set of these. And then I was looking around to see whether you could buy the refills separately, and you could. And they were out of stock in Amazon UK, but they tweeted or put a post on something, I think it was their Twitter or Instagram, saying that they had a few boxes of refills left in stock and they'd be selling them on Amazon. They came online on Amazon for $9.99 and I was like, oh, I'll buy a box, so I've got a box. Then they went down to $7.99 and I bought another box, and then I think it was about a month later they went down to $4.99 and I bought the remaining 2 boxes. So I actually have 4 boxes of refills as well as the Colour Technik backup set. That's when I know they're my favourites. So what came next? Well, I'll tell you what came next. The Tanmit came next. I was excited for these. Now these were sent to me by a lovely subscriber. I was really excited because they knew how much I liked gel pens. And these, to me, looked exactly like the Colour Technik. They have the same numbers, same names, and I was really interested to see whether they were. Now, I did a whole video swatching these out and playing with them and trying them, and one of them exploded, and I ended up having to put the refill in. But if we have a look at one and compare it, let's try and get the same one. This is GN08, so one of the glitter neons. And this one is GN08. Okay, so let's have a look how Colour Technik and Tanmit compare. Same bodies, same squishy, same ends. So the only thing left to compare are the refills. Big hold like the Colour Technik, or small hold like the Chromatek. So this is a Tanmit. So Tanmit bits all go over there, and this is the Colour Technik, and the Colour Technik bits all go over there. The Colour Technik in this hand, Tanmit in this hand. Look at that. Now this one, which was the Colour Technik, the Tanmit are even bigger. That hole, that capacity for ink is even bigger than the Colour Technik ones. And if I bring in the Chromatek again, you'll see the difference between the 3. There you go. So Chromatek on this side, Chromatek, Colour Technik and Tanmit. Now you can see how big that Tanmit hole is. And that was one of the reasons why the pen leaked on me, because maybe there's a fine line about how much air needs to get in it, but something happened and the ink just flew out the bottom of it when I was reviewing it. But that's really interesting. You can see that even though these have, not that one because I haven't matched it up, but these have got exactly the same ink in it, exactly the same colours in them, even though they're exactly the same, the Tanmit have even more ink in it. Let's do the Tanmit test. Right, so let's do this one, green, as I put it in my hand. And we're off. A little bit of a hard start, but we are going. I don't know what it is about Tanmit. Even though they've got that really big hole, I always find them a little bit more scratchy than the others. I don't know if their ball is smaller. deep orange. Picked a bit of a deeper orange there, didn't I? Nice red. Got pen all over me, as always. Purple. Now that one flowed nicely. We've already done the green, and onto the tealy blue. There we go. So that was the Tanmit. Now I'm just going to grab my colour Technique and my Tanmit. And to me, it does look like the Tanmit ball is smaller. If I was to guess, I'd probably say that that was a 0.8 and that was a 0.7. And that's probably why it just feels just that little bit scratchier. We'll leave these two out, and then at some point we'll be able to compare them to the Stardust, to the Sakuras. Alright, next on the list I've got ZCSM. These are available in the UK. They come in this really nice case as well. They are of the type that are the 12 pastels, 12 Ujima flips, 12 whatevers, and when you look at them, they have the same body and everything, caps and lids and everything, as the colour Technik. So even though, and the Chromatek and the Tanmit, so even though are of that type, like the Castle Arts, I almost wondered if there's sort of like two brands. There's the real cheap and generic brand that you can get 12 pastels, 12 neons, 12 whatever, 12 glitters and 12 metallics like this. And then there's a better range like this where you all get the same body, but you can pay for the amount of ink that goes in them. So 40% more ink, 60% more ink, that kind of thing. So I thought I had to get these just to try, because these seem like they're in the middle. So let's grab, I'm going to try and get a similar yellow. So yellow. Oh, I obviously picked up a fluorescent one there. That one is crazy yellow. Orange. Yeah, these feel scratchy. These feel similar in ball size as the Tanmit, not quite as free flowing. As the colour Technique and the Chromatek. I think you can hear it. Green's next. Should have been blue. And finally, the bluey one from the ZCSM set. There we go. So let's have a look at all of those. And that's the ZCSM. Now, I stopped buying gel pens at that point because I just about had enough. Well, if you've seen my video, which I'll link up there, about my gel pen collection, you'll know that I had enough. But there was a load of my American subscribers who said, you got to try Aen Art. You haven't tried Aen Art. And they were really difficult to get hold of, impossible to get hold of over here in the UK. But there was one company that was selling them imported over. £45, which was a bit expensive, but then they dropped in price to £35, so I nabbed a set. And I thought, okay, let's try them. Now this is actually their first outing. I've not even opened them, tried them, swatched them, looked how thick their holes are, or how big their balls are. So, let's do it. Let's do this, people of the internet. Let's see. Let's not get a neon one if we can. Let's have a look what they look like. Well, they look body wise the same. the same, very similar, very same as the colour Technik, but they're like the Tanmit in the sense that they don't have the ink refill is not got the number on it. It has got the number up here, G04. So, but also these don't come with refills, so you don't necessarily need to have the ink refill number. I wish they did come with refills. It's one of the reasons why I really like my colour Technik. They come with refills, or they came with refills. The company that made colour Technik out there, I know you've probably rebadged as some other company and are producing something else, but these were good. You should stick with them. Let's grab an orange, grab a red, grab a purple, a tealy blue, and that's a bit of a dark green. Let's go for that green. I'm excited. I need to properly swatch these ones. I'm sure no one's interested in watching me swatch the entire set of 100 pens, but if you are, do let me know. Right, let me do these Aen Art. Oh, they feel nice. They're first outing. Are you as excited as me? Probably not. Here we go. They feed all right. Don't feel too bad. That I chose as a yellow looks more like that orange that I picked from the ZCSM. Nice. That red. That's a juicy red. That's a very juicy red. Purple. Green. Oh, green's decided not to play. That really doesn't want to play. Let's grab another green. Replacement green. Here we go. Also needed warming up, but we're off. Don't think it doesn't get like going over the bones of the old one, and then the tealy blue one. Yeah, these have got the smaller ball. It feels like these have got the same as the Tanmit, smaller ball sort of size. They look nice, don't they? They look the same as the Tanmit. Right, so there's the Aen Art, which will look exactly the same as the Tanmit. But now we need to know, we need to come to the conclusion. Are Sakura better than all of these brands, all of these different glitter gel pens that I've just watched out? But first we have one sneaky little number that's came in here. Oh yeah, and that's Uniball. Uniball do a range, a small range, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 colours of glitter gel pens. Well, I had to buy them. I had to try them. Wow, they look fancy, don't they? Oh, they're in a fancy box. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. So their bodies, on initial touch, felt similar to the generic ones. They've got a rounded off end. They're really fancy at the top. Look at that. They've got like a proper clip rather than a clip that breaks off. They're obviously available open stock because they've got a number on it. So we're going to have to do these, aren't we? These have to be brought into the fore. Oh, that was a disappointing first leap. Now, that's gold all day long. You'll see it better when I lift it up, but that's more gold than yellow. And then we have an orange, which is a copper. You can see why I picked the colours that I picked, because I wanted to make sure that this very limited pack of Signos, we had the same colour range. Oh, that's scratchy. That Signo, what are you doing to me? That does not feel good at all. I'm not happy with that. We've got purple. This will tell us on here what size the ball is, hopefully. Which it does not. I can probably look it up. I'll look it up, and if I can find what size ball. See, this is scratchy. This isn't even as pleasant as an experience as these ones. And these were expensive. These were like £20, £18 for this small box. They have more of a metallic sheen. Maybe that's why they're called super sparkly or super something. Yeah, they have like the ink is more, it's like metallic ink with glitter rather than the other ones are dye-based ink with glitter. Yeah, see, gold, copper. The red one did not work very well. That purple one is a bit weak. Green one, yeah. So, what are we left with? We are left with the reigning champion. Is it still the king? And to give it the best chance, I'm not going to use my old ones that I've had for 10 years. I'm going to use a brand new pack. Brand new, virgin, unused pack. Are we ready? Straight out the box. Ooh, a little bit scratchy. Let's warm him up. Give him a fair chance. That was disappointing. Oh, the orange is better. The orange feels better. Still, you know, I thought these was going to be... Oh no, look, the red's playing up as well. Have Sakura lost their crown? I can't even get this one. I've got a piece of scrap paper here and I'm trying to oh, that's disappointing. Okay, we're going again. Good. That was disappointing, wasn't it? For the king, bearing in mind these are £20. These are like £20 for 12, is it 12 pens? Yes. The purple. I had no idea what to expect. I didn't pre-warn myself. I didn't pre-swatch these. I didn't have a play with them. I've been planning on doing this video for a while. And now I'm surprised because I thought they were still going to come out king. That was green? That was green in there. It's not. Let's grab another green because... Let's grab this one. These are disappointing. And finally, the bluish tealy one. These feel like the Signos in that same, not, I mean, they're glittery enough. They weren't as pleasurable. They weren't as pleasurable as some of my other pens. I just want to compare the balls. I'm going to compare the balls and I'm going to compare the holes. Right, let's get me Colour Technik out, which were the ones with the middle size hole. Oh, can't open these, can we? Can't open them. Can't open them to see how fat their refills are. How disappointing. Well, let's see if we can compare the balls then. Wow, that Sakura ball looks tiny. compared to my colour Technik. If this is a 1mm, then that is 100% 8. Is it looking, see it good there? You can see that that colour Technik has got a bigger ball. Oh wow, I am so surprised. So, all these years, my spider senses that the colour Technik were the best were right. I am so surprised. Are you surprised? I am so surprised that Sakura, made in Japan, Sakura, are no longer king of the heap. I really thought they were going to be king of the heap. I'm really happy that I have this section here in the middle, because the other thing, I mean, that also knocks them off their pile is these only come in 12 colours and are clear. So even if you wanted to use them for colouring, like I do, I literally use them to do complete pages. Even if you wanted to do that, you've only got 12 colours. Wow. So, in my opinion, and as always, it is always just my opinion, are the Jelly Roll Stardust still the best on the market? These pioneers of this technology? And in my opinion, the answer is no. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care. Bye! Here's an addendum for all you lovely people of the internet who are still watching to the end. I was just about to put this away and I realised I should have compared them to these. These cost £1 from the pound shop, Poundland in the UK, and these cost $2.99 from Amazon. Out of interest, shall we? Why not? Now, interesting, these don't look too bad. These look similar bodies and everything to the Chromatek and everything. We're going to have to give it its own line up here, look. The pound shop ones. How do they compete? There's the yellow. There's the orange. There's the red. The purple one's a bit scratchy. Green's a bit scratchy. And the blue. So, can we see the glitter on them cheapy brown ones? Oh, so not as much. So then they're not as glittery. So if I go down here, look, we can see the glitter on all of these pens. These here, less glitter. Right, and then Link Shine above even the Poundland. Oh, that was vivid. Orange. Red. Oof, that's really deep purple. That's deep purple. Green. Nice and free flowing those. Sealy blue. There we go. Let's have a look at those in the sun. See, look at the difference in the glitter between them ones. For all you budget conscious people who are looking for cheap supplies, skip the Poundland ones because there's no glitter in them. There is some glitter, look, you can just about see it there. But the Link Shine is more glitter. So if you're on a budget, don't worry about spending £18 on the Sakura Stardust. Get the Link Shine instead. Thanks for staying to the end. Take care. Bye.